Hi there, Supermoto Grandad here. I'd like to introduce you to my new bike, Doris. Ta-da! Ta-da!
Oh my gosh!
Now I imagine you thought that I should have gone for the KTM 500 EXC and turned that into a Supermoto. But for some reason I chose this beautiful beast, the KTM 690. I looked around and I managed to find this 2018 model at a dealership in Wellington. The 2019 models have come out and they're $18,999, which, to be honest, was way out of my price range. So what I did was I made an offer on this old stock model, got it for $13,500. Very happy with that. Now you may be wondering, why did I choose the big, heavy 690 over the lighter, more nimble, probably better wheeling machine of a 500 EXC? Well, partly it was price. The new 690s, the 2019 model, $18,999 here in New Zealand. Same with an EXC. If I bought the EXC, I would then have had to spend on top of that the money on the wheels and brakes and stuff to convert it to a Supermoto. The real drawback of the 500 EXC for me was service intervals. I have to change my oil as often as I change my underwear, and that's not a particularly pleasant process. So I've decided to go with this beautiful big heavy beast instead. I hope I've made the right decision. So let's have a look at the bike and I'll give you some first impressions. So there's going to be some things that I want to change. First one probably being this standard KTM silencer. Quite quiet, not very sexy. So I'm going to, am I going to get an Akrapovic? No, $2,700 for an Akrapovic system here. I'm just going to go with the KTM Remus exhaust and hopefully that'll give me some extra noise, make it sound a bit sexier. The next thing that I'm going to need to do is, I think I'm going to need to put crash buttons on the front and rear axles. I'm not intending to throw my bike down the road, but if I do, it needs some protection. The other thing that I got, which is an accessory that KTM should have provided with the bike, one of these. That's right, a fire extinguisher. With the fuel tank mounted in the rear here, if I throw this down the road and leak fuel out of the tank and onto the silencer, I'm pretty sure you know what's going to happen. And I don't want that to happen. Next modification that I think I'll make is to do with sprockets. The standard configuration for front and rear sprockets is 16 teeth on the front, 42 on the rear. I think this thing's going to need to be geared a bit lower if I'm wanting to do wheelies on it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the front sprocket down one, so I'm going to a 15. I'm going to leave the rear as it is and just see what happens. Now I've heard that a 14 on the front and a 44 on the rear is pretty good for wheeling. But I don't want to try that straight away because I'd lose too much top end speed, and I'm intending to be riding the road on the bike and all over the place. So I don't want it revving its ring piece out when I'm on the motorway. The next thing that I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to change the indicators to an LED set. And I've also got to deal with this disgusting rear end. In New Zealand, for your bike to be legal, you have to have indicators, you have to have a number plate light, a reflector, and of course the stop light and running light. So I'm going to take all of this off. I'm going to mount the number plate up just under the brake light here, and I'm probably going to put the LED indicators just here under the back of the rear plastic. So that's probably next on the list. I've already installed a RAM mount up on the handlebars because I want to be able to take my iPhone with me. I find it quite convenient using the iPhone to control the GoPro rather than trying to get it working like that. And I think I'll install a USB port so that I can keep my phone charged as I'm riding around. Now there's another piece of equipment that is really required for me. Yes, a step ladder. Look at how high this bike is. My inside leg measurement is 32 inches. I can't remember what that is in centimetres, but I know that this is 890 millimetres tall. It comes up to my waist. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to carry this around with me in my backpack. It looks a bit large, but it's definitely needed for me to actually climb onto this big camel. There we go, tippy toes on both sides. This is going to be interesting. Well, there she is, my sexy beast. Okay, so all we've got to do now is really take it out and have a ride and get some first impressions. So I'll be covering that in my next video. If you'd like to follow along, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Supermoto Grandad, out.
Chuck us a spanner, will you, love?